Hi, my name is Jess Hyles. I'm a team leader at CSIRO Agriculture and Food and a PhD student at the University of Sydney. I'm also an ag producer in New South Wales, and today I'm going to talk about the future of crop breeding and how we at CSIRO with our collaborators aim to safeguard our future food security. Food security is a global issue. We need to feed our increasing world population, but we need to do this with less. The area of arable land is shrinking and we face real challenges due to climate change. In Australia, our most important food crop is wheat. The wheat belt spans more than 40 million hectares and the industry is worth about $6 billion to our economy each year. And Australian wheat feeds many of us for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So we need to boost the yield of wheat sustainably, and we aim to do this by breeding with a focus on different plant characteristics. Firstly, it's important to match the life cycle of wheat with the seasons. For instance, to maximise yield, we make sure that critical stages of crop development like flowering and seed set avoid harsh conditions like winter frost or summer heat. We also match plant architecture to suit the environment. For instance, a flattened canopy makes the plant better adapted to very cold or very dry conditions. We incorporate resistance to pests and disease. The most virulent fungal pathogen, the wheat rust UG99, could cost our industry more than $1 billion in crop losses. So we've got a strong research focus on resistance to rust. Farming in our harsh climate means our wheat needs to be tolerant to many stresses, including high temperatures or saline soils. To decrease our reliance on herbicides, we're looking at other ways to suppress weeds, like fast-growing plants with a flattened canopy to cover the soil surface quickly to outcompete weeds. We need to achieve more crop per drop, and we're doing this by incorporating water use efficiency into wheat cultivars. And finally, to ensure we have a sustainable ag industry, we look at ways the plant can more efficiently use fertilisers so that ultimately we can use less. So you'll see there's a lot of considerations when we aim to breed high yielding and sustainable wheat. And it also needs to taste good, be nutritious and make a great loaf of bread. So to meet this challenge, to design wheat which can ensure our future food security, at CSIRO we decided to go back and learn from our wheat history. William Farrer was a pioneer wheat breeder in Australia in the late 1800s. He knew the answers to successful wheat was hidden in global diversity. On a farm near Canberra, he began crossbreeding wheat from India, Canada and Europe, and one of his most successful varieties, Federation, was tolerant to drought, it avoided rust infection, and it produced quality flour. It became the most widely grown wheat in Australia, and it's an ancestor of many of the cultivars grown in Australia today. We collected seeds from Federation and its parents, and through plant breeding records have followed the descendants of wheat during more than 100 years of wheat breeding. We've created a family tree, which is like the ancestry.com for wheat, and we've called it Auswheat. We've selected 300 important individuals from this family tree to study more closely. We've grown the Auswheat population in controlled environments and field conditions across Australia. We've measured all the plant characteristics needed to produce high-yielding wheat. We've also measured the environment because it's the interaction between the plant and its environment that really determines if a crop's successful. We've used remote sensing technologies such as thermal cameras and LiDAR, and we're measuring things beyond what the human eye can see. We're using artificial intelligence and machine learning to capture data more efficiently and gain new understanding and insights. Bringing all these tools together, we can now consider a plant performance package rather than the individual characteristics to develop high-yielding crops. To use this information in breeding, we're interpreting the genetics which underlie plant performance. With next-generation sequencing technologies, we can now sequence entire genomes from an entire field of wheat to understand not only the gene sequences, but also what genes are switched on or off at any time in the environment. So we're now truly understanding how the plant really feels. Bringing all the genetic sequence data and plant performance measures together using analytics, including machine learning tools, we can now discover the genes that contributed to the success of varieties during the history of Auswheat. Now we can pinpoint at a single base of DNA gene targets for success. These can be used for conventional crossbreeding, or we can design new varieties through gene editing. This precise information gives us an opportunity to quickly deliver improved varieties because we can target many genes at once. At CSIRO, we see a future of AI-informed crop design. We're bringing together the genes and measures of plant performance creates a genome-to-phenome platform for accelerated crop improvement. And we won't just do this in wheat. Together with industry collaborators and breeding companies, new Auscrop platforms are now being built in oats, canola and barley. So just as Farah took genetics from around the globe to create successful wheat for Australia, it is important that we share our genetic diversity and technologies for crop improvement around the world to safeguard the future food security for our planet. Thank you.